Well, thank you for joining us today. We have Arthur Athens with One Firefight. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate everything that you do, and thank you for your service.
And thank you for yours as well. So, um, tell me first of all, well, what can you tell me about your time in the military?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did ROTC out of college, commissioned as an officer in the Army as a engineer. So I got to do both combat and construction engineering over the last 18 years. So I'm actually still in and should be. I got a few more years left to go to hit that magic 20. But I've had a really good time. First duty station was Germany, and been stationed everywhere between Germany and Missouri. So that's kind of the furthest west I went for one of my duty stations and in between. So it's been a great time. Really enjoyed it. It's been an incredible learning experience. I've loved getting to serve.
Awesome. And I know you and I have already talked about this offline, but what would you say your favorite duty station would be and why?
Yeah, absolutely. So Fort Stewart, Georgia is definitely our family's favorite duty station there in Savannah. I was there with Third Infantry Division, and we were there for 3 years. And we're big beach people, so we absolutely loved being able to get to the beach right away. You got all the Georgia beaches, South Carolina beaches, and you can head down to Florida if you want. So we really enjoyed Fort Stewart, Georgia.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I'm a beach goer myself, so always have to be by that ocean. The lake just doesn't cut it for whatever reason.
That's right.
Um,
That's right.
so, how did you come up with the idea to start One Firefight?
Yeah, absolutely. So to kick it off, I'm one of 10 children. So yes, they are by the same two parents. My mom had all of us, God bless her. Um, but so I have five brothers, and we had a family reunion about a year and a half ago. And one of my brothers is always printing stuff and putting on apparel and like just kind of messing with it. So he came out with a big logo on the front of his sweatshirt that said "One Firefight," and it had these emblems of people: a firefighter, a nurse, a military officer, and then a police officer. And it said, "One firefight." And I was looking at it. We were sitting around the fire, and I was like, "Man, that's really cool." I was like, "I'd wear that." I was like, "I'd probably buy that." And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, man." So we just started talking, and we are like, "Let's start a company and like put stuff on T-shirts and other apparel and brand it and sell it and see what happens." So, and here we are about a year and a half later. We've been doing it for about a year and a half right now, and it's been really awesome. It's been really great to be able to work with my five brothers on this project and um, doing everything we do with it. It's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, keep having being that close with man, I can't your mom. Um I
Yep.
and five boys, like I don't know. I don't know how some people do that, but big props to her.
Yeah.
The fact that you guys are all close enough to, continue and do things together as adults, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's awesome. And that's kind of how it played into the whole, one firefight concept, one team, one fight. Because it could also obviously be conceptualized as like a physical firefight, like exchanging gunfire between each other, or like a firefighter actually putting out a fire. We like to it goes in, it really boils down to like, what's your fight? What's your fight? What are you going through? What are you battling? And that's what we like to show. And so I'm active duty Army. My brother just got out of the Coast Guard. I have another brother that's a deputy sheriff, another brother that's SWAT in Arlington, Texas, and another brother that's just corporate America, works up in Michigan. So we live the motto ourselves, of the fight that and serving our country and giving back to the communities that we serve.
I love that, and thank you all for what you do. So what is your why or what is your mission? I guess you kind of went into that already,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I did. So I mean, it's represented on clothing, so it's a veteran and first responder owned, company. And really, what we wanted to do is our why is to be able to express ourselves and then be able to give back, right? To be able to mentor, inspire, and teach others about the military and first responders and medical professionals, because a lot of people, I think, take for granted, those people that do that service. So that's really something that we try to do in our live selling, in our social media, as we try to reach out, across all spectrums, and everything that we do is to try to, instruct the public that might not be as aware of what individuals are doing in their own community, or in a base right next to them, that yeah, hey, there's guys that are deploying right out of this base right here, and they go over to the Middle East, and then they come back, and then they're right here at the Waffle House with you. So like trying to teach and inspire some folks when it comes to that. And then we give back to, we have a we give 5% of our proceeds back to the Semper Fi in America Fund. So that's another part of our why, is giving back. And so that's kind of our standard, like on top portion that we donate back to a nonprofit, which it's a great fund. Semper Fi in America Fund really provides for all those, a lot of injured veterans and families across all the militaries. It initially was Marine run, but now it's, they do a nonprofit for all of them. And then the other thing we do is we'll find local nonprofits when we do like live selling events, or in our own communities, we'll find a nonprofit that is doing something, and we'll, pitch in and do a certain percentage, and, donate or match things to be able to give back. So that's another big part of our whys, like, is giving back to the communities that we're in, and promoting causes that we think are awesome, and celebrating those that serve.
Oh, that's awesome. And what do you love most about what you do? Like, I mean, you're working with your brothers, you're giving back to the community, you're sharing the stories of all the, all the greats in our communities. Like, what do you love the best about what you do?
Yeah, you hit it right on the nail. My favorite thing is working with my brothers, because we are, like you said, we're all very close. We're all about 2 to 3 years apart. So I'm the oldest brother. I have an older sister, but so it's me, and then it basically goes down the line 2 years, 4 more down the line. So Andrew, John, Peter, and Stephen are my other 4 brothers. And that's something I absolutely love. So it's been interesting as well, right? Running a business, and there's money involved, and decisions that have to happen, and us all working together, and like staying on the same path and trajectory of where we want to take this company and this business. So that's definitely the thing I love the most about doing this.
Oh, well, you're very lucky to be able to do that. I know, like, not, let alone like, 4 other siblings, but I can't imagine, sometimes even with just 2 siblings, it's very hard to go into business with them, different
Yeah.
ideas. And, so what would you say is what was your biggest learning curve when you were starting One Firefight?
Yeah, the biggest learning curve, I mean, it's more tailored to apparel, but what we were doing is we were putting in bulk orders with like small t-shirt companies. So we would make a design and then give it to them, and have them send us like 250 shirts, and then we would try to sell them, or go to a live event and sell them. But we only had so much capital that we initially put into the company. So we found out, hey, why don't we just buy our own printing press, and then make our own designs, and just kind of brought it all in house. And we were able to increase the designs that we were doing, and much more profitable, as opposed to buying like in bulk from, because a lot of those companies, even a local t-shirt company, they're not going to print like 10 shirts. Like if you just wanted 10 on a certain design, there's minimums, MOQs, minimum order quantities that they have. So that was one of our biggest learning curves. I think we spent a little bit too much time, a little bit too much money doing these bulk orders, and it's still fine because we still have those shirts that are slowly going. But if you're in the apparel company, or really any business, you gotta keep moving. Like that's something we've learned, and it was a learning curve for us, is you got to keep pumping out something new, because otherwise on social media or on your marketing emails you send out, it's just kind of like the same stuff over and over again, and people just kind of lose interest in what you're doing. So you got to pump out new designs, or whatever your product might be. You got to have new stuff out there on the line. So bringing that stuff in house really helped us do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah, you do see that. Like, even when, like, with my day job, trying to order something, there's like that initial fee because it's one design. And then I can't even imagine like 250, like, how do you know what size of, like, how many of each size you need? Because, I mean, working in different things, even as a volunteer, we have this many extra larges, this many larges, and this many smalls. Well, yeah, not everybody, like, sometimes you run out of one more than the other. And
Yep.
I mean, even retail stores show that when they put things on sale and they're all extra small, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, I love this design, but they have nothing in my size because those have all been bought.
Yeah, exactly. So, what advice would you give to somebody who was wanting to start their own business, regardless of what industry? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. The it's tough. I think one of the big things is you're gonna have highs and lows. So there's going to be times where you're like, man, like, we're not selling any t-shirts. Like we go to this live selling event and we sell like, $200 worth of t-shirts. Like this is terrible. It's not working, so you get down on yourself. So whatever your business might be, you got that low of, I'm not selling, or there was a huge mistake in an order that I did or whatever I've done. But then, there's going to be the highs as well. And, hopefully for whoever's businesses out there that they have more highs than lows, but to be able to keep sticking with it and fight through those lows and be able to, incline back up on those highs and build off of those, because you will have them. And then you can have some big breakthroughs. Like, we've had some almost big breakthroughs. We've been really excited where we almost got into a few, retail shops that we were really excited about. And, one of them dropped off and we're still talking with another one of them. So that's, something that we didn't even think would happen this soon, with what we're doing. But that was a high that we, caught, and we're like, wow, it's awesome. Let's ride this. And it motivates you, right, to keep doing and keep pressing on and keep moving. Because it is easy sometimes, if it's your, I wouldn't say, I mean, right now it's obviously like my secondary job, but if you're trying to start a business, but you're like not too worried if you kind of fail, like you gotta put everything into it. You gotta go, full born. And people like people that they know, trust, and like. So like whatever your business is, and it's hard sometimes if you're not, super outgoing or want to go talk to a bunch of random people, but you got to put yourself out there. You just got to do that, because people will do business with people they know, trust, and like. And that's how you can get those highs and get some breaks there in your company.
yeah, that's true. I know marketing is like probably one of the biggest reasons, or lack of marketing, that a lot of people or a lot of businesses fail, is because you may have the best product out there, but if you don't get your product in front of the right people or don't gain their trust, no, you're just going to end up with 250 shirts. So,
Exactly. That's spot on.
but so what are you most excited about right now with One Firefight? What's coming up?
Yeah. So one of the big things is some live selling events. So the good thing is we're like, our company it's not just one person, because sometimes it can be hard if you're doing, especially if you're starting a business up by just yourself. The great thing is there's 5 of us, right? So we're like the 5 octopus arms, all across the country. I'm here in South Carolina. I got another brother in South Carolina, one in Texas, one in Connecticut, and one in Michigan. So we do have apparel with 2 of the other brothers, one in Texas, one in Connecticut. So we get lots of opportunities to do some live selling events. So again, that goes back to the people like, and trust, because those are people you can sell to in person and then get their email and get them on your distro. And then if they like what they bought and they think it's it's a good price and a good product, then they'll come back and they'll get more. So that's one of the big things I'm excited about, especially this fall season. As it gets cold past December into January, then it's kind of cold. But that's one of them. And then the other one would be what I mentioned before, was the Taylor. My daughter's running in from outside. It would be the retail option that we have to be able to get into some retail stores, which would be pretty cool.
So what do you so obviously t-shirts. Do you do hoodies or?
Yeah, so we actually have hoodies dropping here in about 2 weeks. We did them last winter and sold out all of those. So we've got a new one and a new design coming out now. So we do hats, long sleeves, t-shirts, flags, bunch of other little random, trinkets. But obviously the main thing that we're doing right now is t-shirts and then hoodies.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Where do you see One Firefight in the next year?
Oh, wow. In the next year, I would absolutely love to see us in some retail stores. I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd be huge for us. Because there's some stores out there. I wouldn't go into the specifics with them, because obviously like none of them are, they're not solidified yet, but some of them are like first responder type stores, where they sell first responder gear, and they, reached out to us, and I think they saw us on social media, and they, asked about doing that. So we're working with them right now on whether we'd be able to do that. But in a year, in hopefully less than a year, but definitely in a year, I would love to. I would love to have that complete, because I think that'd be a great source of revenue where, we're just continuously, giving retail stores apparel, and then we're getting some money for it. We can keep building, keep growing our designs.
Okay, awesome. I think you can do it. How about 5 years? What would you like to do in about 5?
Wow, 5 years. So I'd be out of the military by then. So I don't know if, so hopefully I would love this company to, get bigger where I could actually do this. This could be, obviously I'd have my military retirement, which would be nice, but be able to do this full time where we'd actually be making, enough where we could, we're taking funding, actually paying people in 5 years. I'd love to actually have a warehouse, obviously be able to pump One Firefight stuff out of an actual warehouse, have employees up to about 20 employees. And yeah, just a growing in-house, be able to start on the fringe of competing with, the big guys.
Nice. And do you do any mail order at all, or is it just in person
Oh
currently?
no, yeah. So we have our website, onefirefight.com. So we do everything through that. You just order online, just like everything else. That's probably another thing in the next probably 6 months I would shoot for, is trying to get on Amazon, where we're like, we don't, you don't sell a lot of stuff on Amazon, but at least put like a few products on there, so you kind of pop and hit on Amazon, because that's something that I've seen a lot. Everyone just, no matter what it is, if someone wants something, that's normally where they go. I mean, I do as well. So to be able to get some stuff on there where people would see it, and then if they want more, then they go to their website. That's kind of, that's what a lot of the bigger companies do as well. So
Awesome.
yeah.
And so how can our fellow veterans best support you
Oh,
besides
yeah,
buying?
yeah,
Obviously.
go to onefirefight.com, and if you see something you like, get it, shoot me an email, and we'll send you something else on top of that. But yeah, that would be the biggest one. We do that as well. I know I do, so especially since starting a business and being an entrepreneur. I love to find other veteran owned businesses and support them, and just go on their site and buy one of their things, so I get on their marketing list and then support them that way. I'm a veterans in residence with Bunker Labs. I don't know if you're familiar
Yeah.
with Bunker Labs at all, but
Yeah.
they're really great, and they just came out with a Christmas catalog, and actually we're on their Christmas catalog as well. But I was actually just yesterday going through the Christmas catalog and looking at all the other companies on there, and be like, ooh, like one was like cheese, and I love cheese, so I'm like, I'm absolutely going to buy some cheese from this other veteran-owned business company. So
Wow.
just go doing that. That's the biggest way I think veterans can help support other veterans. And then if you go to if you're a veteran, you go to live events and you see somebody with something that's first responder, military community, go up and talk to those folks. You don't have to buy something, but at least go up and talk to them and say hey, and see what their story is, and just check them out. That's another thing that's I think would be great for veterans to do while they're out there.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. So here's that famous, the end. But so give us your pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. So One Firefight, we support the medical professionals, the police, EMS, firefighters, military. It's everyone that serves their communities, and we put it on apparel, and we try to get it out there. And again, we try to educate and inform those in the public about those that serve their communities. So we love the support for One Firefight, and we're climbing to the moon.
Awesome. Love it.